Hello, beautiful newsletter people. Hello, YouTubers. I hope you guys are doing amazing this week. This is your energy forecast and spirit messages for October 3rd to 10th. One of the things that spirit was really inspiring me about this morning was around giving from an half empty cup. I know that this is a theme for us mamas. I know that's mostly women who check out my stuff. And when I did my energy forecast for September, I had a lot of moms reaching out to me, and I'm a mom myself. I got 2 little kids. And so I totally know this, and this is something I've been experiencing this week. And often what I come up with for the energy forecast, Spirit's reminding me of what I have just been through, right? So the teacher's usually only a week ahead of the student. That's one of the sayings and phrases. But one of the energies for this week, I feel like people are feeling a little bit taxed out, a little bit more drained than the weeks past. So Spirit is wanting us to remember that we need to incorporate ways to honor ourselves, honor our passions, honor our creativity, honor our visions and inspirations, to be able to fully give in a way that lands to others. So as moms, we're always like, I need to give to my children. But our children will feel the inauthenticity, the resistance, the exhaustion if we are giving from this place. I know my kids call me out on it all the time. So they're aware of what's going on energetically more than we know. So if we are continuing to give from half empty cup, we're not fooling anyone, even the people that we're providing for. And this goes for the readers out there too. People will pick up your vibe, and they will get the sense that you're kind of not all there, not fully present. So whatever you can do, I know what I ended up doing last night. Of course, it was a full moon. I'm recording this on a Friday, and Thursday was the full moon. I had a lot to do. I had a ton to do, but I decided to do nothing. And I decided to pick up my journals. I think I ended up journaling for over 2 hours, pulled myself some cards, read a bit of a book, really filled my cup. And I made some really big decisions in my business. And I feel very aligned with those decisions because I came from a place after I filled up my cup for even just a minute. So that's definitely coming up. This is definitely a message here for the light workers. You are a warrior woman, right? Just because you need to take a break, just because you need to slow down a little bit so that you can nurture yourself, doesn't make you less of a warrior woman. The warrior woman is the one who honors the calling to slow down, who honors the calling to fill up the cup, fill up the well. That takes more courage than not doing it. So if you need a permission slip this week, there's your permission slip from Spirit, okay? You won't be able to answer the call from what your soul wants you to do until you can come at it from a place of peace and rest and renewal. So I'm not just asking you to slow down on Spirit's behalf because I am. It's literally because you're not going to get your actual soul's calling and your actual whispers from your soul. You're not going to be able to hear them if you're in a place of being fizzled out and frazzled out. So you need to kind of be in that fully recharged and dedicated space to be able to hear those whispers of the soul, okay? So, and look at this, I got the take a break card. So again, just kind of like validating the messages that I've been receiving so far. It says here, take a break, your life's work, not a season, get off the treadmill. I had to make a decision, as you guys probably saw who are in my newsletter. I launched a program called Awakening for the emerging entrepreneur. And I was so passionate about this. This is something I've been actually working on for a year. I have a saved post in later.com from over a year ago talking about what I was about to launch. And then after I launched it, my intuition was just like, I don't think now's the time. And then of course I check in with my coach because is this classic resistance? Is this classic fear? And I came to the realization, no, I'm tired. I'm grieving the loss of my baby still. Bender, I don't want people to think I lost my baby. I lost my cat, and he's the love of my life. And I'm still grieving deeply from that. I have a membership. I'm still showing up 110% for the women who have chosen to work with me month in, month out. And I'm showing up there with everything I have and my one-on-one clients. And the thought of adding this didn't fill me up the way that I knew it would and could. So I had to make the tough call, and the 6 people who registered on day 1, right, I had to give some refunds and just say, look, I am going to do this, but I'm going to do it in the new year, and had to answer that call. I had to answer that soul's call, but I didn't get that soul's call until I decided last night, instead of watching movies with my husband or watching Apollo on Netflix, which is what I really wanted to do, I decided to tune in instead. And I decided to journal, pull cards, read a book that inspires me. And then I heard that calling, and I know that amazing things are going to continue to come because I listen to my intuition. So you got to fill yourself up to hear that call. I hope that's a good example that I can give you on that. There's also like a lot of healing. We're actually heading into Scorpio season. So I know everyone's like, hey, Danielle, Libra season just started. But we are definitely feeling Scorpio vibes, which is all about transformation, deep healing, shadow work. And so some of you may, like me, be feeling this transformation and deep energetic and ancestral healing now, right? Leading up into it. So don't be afraid if you find yourself in a cycle that you've seen before, a cycle you've seen your parents run through, a cycle that you thought was like over. It's coming up because maybe it's just like the last bit of energy that needs to be healed from it. So just know that don't be scared to take a leap into that healing. Okay, I got the leap card, and I got this card one time and I like quit my job when I pulled this card. I ended up staying after that, but I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. And then life kind of happened. But I pulled this card for you guys when it came to, don't be afraid to like dive into the pain head first, because that's kind of what Scorpio season is going to be about, is really kind of like transforming those wounds. So I'm not surprised during this season, things might be coming up that you thought you dealt with. And it's just because they need to come up. Journal about them, write them down, and even write down, like, I thought I was past this. And then just look for Scorpio season, which comes at the end of October, to really be the energy that transmutes it to something else. You know, this comes up every week, but you're not alone, right? So Spirit is here supporting you. When I had to make my really hard decision this morning based off my conversation last night, I made it with me, myself, and my soul, my higher self. I didn't have guides come in. They didn't tell me what to do. That's not what they do. And, you know, you can call them in. I've been feeling them really closely today after I made that call, and I've just been feeling like a lot lighter. So do know that just because they're not coming in and giving you direct answers or a mission, that's okay. That's not their role. That's not what they do. They're not here to rescue us or save us from ourselves. We got to make the decisions, and then they'll come in and be like, okay, now we're going to move forward with this decision. And so you may not feel them until after you make your calls. So for some of you, again, the energy is going to be a little bit intense for the next few months, right? I'm not going to lie. You guys saw my October forecast. August, I said this could be the calm before the storm. I talked to one of my friends, Emily. She's Emily and her stars on Instagram. I love her so much, and she's an amazing astrologer, and she teaches astrology. And she was even saying, like, for the next 4 months, like the stars are a little bit yucky, right? But again, we need this kind of like tower moment in our society, in this civilization, to make the necessary changes to who and how we actually want to be and live for Earth 3.0, 4.0, like whatever version we're actually heading into. So I did get the crumbling card. So for a lot of people, it does feel like a crumbling's happening. It does feel like it, but you can't put yourself together until you break down. So if you haven't quite hit your bottom yet, if you haven't quite fallen apart yet, you don't have anything to put back together yet. So please don't avoid the tower moment. Don't try to save yourself from it. It's necessary. It's part of the cycle. And so just allow yourself to be shattered. There's a beautiful poem by Rebecca Campbell. It was in the book, I believe it was Light is the New Black, but I could be wrong. Could be Rise Sister Rise. But it was called The Crumbling, and she talks about, I hope that you hit rock bottom and you realize it was just a ledge, and that you needed to fall even further and shatter into a million pieces so you could put yourself back together to exactly who you are today. These tower moments in our life are cyclic, they're unavoidable, and the more that we avoid them, the more resistance and pain we have in our life and in our physical bodies. So I don't know if you who are experiencing this tower moment, or you feel like you're kind of on the verge of it, it'll be hard to breathe. They're also taking me to people being more attracted to food and numbing themselves out with like wine and food. They're making me feel that there's a bit of this avoidance happening there. But the crumbling doesn't mean that you have to be in it all the time. You can still play, you can still love, you can still laugh, but you do need to recognize and honor the tower moments and the crumblings when they do happen so that you can rebuild what is necessary to rebuild. And it might just be one aspect of your life. We have such big, various, colorful, joyful lives that the tower moment might just be happening in family, but your career is going great, or it might be happening in finances, but your job's great. So just don't avoid it. Okay, so that's kind of what I really wanted to say around that. And I'll just kind of pull one more thing. All this that I'm talking about is leading us to like this unbounding of past wounds, past cycles. It's really energetically releasing the cords to what's kept us in those cycles, what's kept us in those places. So it is very necessary. It's all very necessary. So I'm being brought to tell you guys, I'm like, how do we end this spirit? And they're making me feel that, like, if you could grab a pen and paper and you can make a list of what you think your tower moments are, like, when has this happened again? Who were the players? How did they make you feel? That's usually the biggest indicator of the cycle. It's not necessarily the person, it's how they make you feel. Or it's not necessarily the situation, it's how the situation then makes you feel. So look at how your situation makes you feel to kind of get clarity on the cycle of it. And sometimes just recognizing the cycle and recognizing the players and your role within that is enough to kind of like move and clear the energy. Oftentimes that's what I find. So forgive yourself, be easy on yourself, and I wish you all the best this week. I hope you're good with this forecast. Again, I wish everything could be rainbows and butterflies. I totally do, but I have to honor Spirit's messages and the way that things are being received to me. So I love you guys. Have a great week.